with this free mini course, how to create your profitable online course in one weekend, even if you barely know how to turn on your computer. So first off, welcome to this free training. I'm excited that you're here. Regardless of how you got here, maybe you found a landing page, maybe you came into the Facebook group, maybe you're already a member of Course Clients, but I wanted to create this training because I see this question all the time of people lost on how to get their course created and do it fast and easily. This isn't rocket science. I'm not teaching nuclear physics, nor could I, but I'm going to show you the simplest, easiest way to create your online course really fast. This is a system that I've used for years, and it makes it really easy and takes all of the headaches of worrying about tech and whatnot. So quick bit on me. Who's been Riley? Well, I've been creating and selling courses for 7 years. 7 figures in sales, multiple 6-figure launches, including 6-figure days. Have taken multiple clients to multiple 6 figures in course income. That's the thing I'm most proud about. It's one thing to make money yourself, but when you can help others break free and create that life of freedom through their courses, that's super exciting. Created the revolutionary course selling system inside Course Clients. I'm the founder and CEO, and now teach people just like you how to actually sell their online course consistently without depending on launches and the usual course launch models out there. Very familiar with the launch system. Obviously, I mentioned a moment ago about how I've done multiple 6-figure launches, and that's cool and that can work, but that's not the best way to sell your course consistently. So inside my coaching program, inside of Course Clients, we teach a way that's not dependent on launches or probably anything you ever heard about. And it's just a great way to do it. I love my dog Pixie, and traveling is when I feel most alive. I know that's original. Here I am. This was a couple years ago, actually, in Positano, Italy. And I'm standing there with my giant beard at the time, looking like Moses coming down from the mountain, ready to deliver the 10 commandments. But anyway, traveling's cool. And it's totally, was something that I never traveled for years. I didn't grow up traveling. And when I learned how to make money online and whatnot, obviously it frees you up to be able to do that. And that's one of the exciting things that I'm very passionate about with online courses, is because it can allow you to live a non-traditional lifestyle. We grow up being told, get a job, work hard, then you too can retire at 65, and then maybe you can buy that Corvette you've been wanting. But the problem is, by the time you're 65, you probably don't want the Corvette anymore, and you've spent your whole life working hard to make someone else rich. So I say hogwash, focus on creating your own online course business. So education, not entertainment. So all my training, it's for serious people just like you, right? You want to build a real online course business. Now, if you find that bores you, if you hate looking at slides, then perhaps the following online platforms will be of more interest to you. Netflix, Hulu, maybe ESPN, maybe watch Bravo. None of those platforms will make you money, help you quit your 9-to-5, or give you your dream life, though. So I would say the next probably 30, 40 minutes. Sometimes I can be long-winded. This might go an hour. Focus, put your phone on airplane mode, and your Facebook notifications will last another hour. Your email will be okay, and people don't need to get a hold of you that badly in the next hour, because this is very dense and it's very streamlined, but it's something that if you implement it, this is actionable training. This is not a webinar. This is not, training disguised as a pitch. I will talk at the end. I have one slide about our program. If that's something that you think, I need help implementing this, then I tell you about that at the end on one slide. But this is pure training, and you can get a lot out of it if you focus and pay attention. Now, the theme of this entire training is just get it done. It's the old Nike slogan, not old, I mean, they still have it, but it's just do it. And it's brilliant because, quite frankly, a lot of life and becoming successful is about that. Just do it. Just get it done. Stop overanalyzing it. There's a lot of smart people in the world who are not successful in the monetary sense. They're not successful in having helped a lot of people. They're not successful in having a major impact because they're overanalyzing shit. Excuse my French, but that's just the facts. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Now, let me explain something. That's hard for me. I tend to be a perfectionist. I am extremely, extremely hard on myself. Nothing is ever good enough. However, I learned to compartmentalize that when it comes to courses, because I realized very quickly that, taking years to create a course or even months and months is foolish, and it's not the way to do it. It's actually the opposite. The number one reason I see people take forever to finish their course, I just want it to be perfect. Maybe you've said that yourself. Maybe you're thinking that right now. Oh, that's exactly how I feel. Well, great. Meanwhile, people need your solution, and you're worried about what template to use. It is your moral obligation to get your solution out to the world. Now, let me throw that burden on you, because when you look at your course from the lens of the people it will help and not yourself, take yourself, remove yourself from the equation. Well, I want the template to look this way, and I want it to be really pretty like that, and it's all about you. Remove yourself from the equation. Your course, your niche, your course idea, wherever you're at in an online course business journey, has nothing to do with you. It has to do with your customer, your potential customer, your avatar. There's someone out there who woke up today on October 31st, 2019, on Halloween, and said, I need to solve this problem. And your course could solve it, but it might not be done right now. Or it might be done, but you don't have any idea of how to market it. When you start looking at your course and your customers and your course business through the eyes of, I need to get this solution out in front of people. It's my moral obligation to help people. All of a sudden, you are going to feel motivation, and you're going to feel, like kind of a pulling on you, because what's happening is you're actually creating a true vision. When you have a real vision, all of a sudden, shit gets done. All of a sudden, you're getting up at 5 a.m. You're not even worried about sleep, because you have something bigger than yourself that you need to accomplish. Now, this is the exact process to help your customers. Helping your customers. Every part of your course creation should be about helping your customers. It has nothing to do with you or your ego. Get your ego out of here. I've seen ego hold up people in so many ways, not just in the course business, but in general in life. And it absolutely will hold you back. Okay? There's a book by Ryan Holiday that it's called Ego is the Enemy. And it's a great book. I actually recommend reading it. And essentially, a lot of people will allow their ego to get in the way of getting help, getting coaching, getting mentoring, just asking for free advice, asking people who have accomplished something they want to accomplish. And if you really want to get ahead in life, I'll just take this on a macro level. If you really want to get ahead in life in general, you want to be really super successful, then get the ego out of the way. Humble yourself and make a big difference. Don't focus on profit. Focus on solving their problem, and you will profit. It's interesting because a lot of people will say, I have a great course idea, I have a great course idea, I have a great course idea. Take a year to build it, launch it. No one cares. They don't make any money. Look at the market. Look at your expertise. I'm not going to dive into how to find your niche and whatnot because that's not what this specific training is about. But when you figure out how your expertise can fill the gap somewhere in the market where there's a problem you can solve, and you create a course to solve that problem, boom. All of a sudden, wow, I'm getting sales like crazy. I haven't even finished a sales page, or I haven't even done this, I haven't even done that. Doesn't matter. You've got a solution to people's burning problem. So focus on solving people's problems and you will profit. Your course solves the problem, and it does it in the easiest and fastest way possible. Right? Do you need a course that's 6 months long? No. What's the big one problem they have? What's the big one problem you can solve in the world? Solve it. We're not talking about, I'm not saying you have to have a problem of, I can cure cancer. If you can, that's awesome. It could be something as simple as, I can solve the problem of people doing a handstand. There's a gentleman who did a handstand course, and he did 7 figures in, I think, about 5 months. From showing other people who do yoga how to do a handstand. Now, there's more to that. It wasn't like it was just a video and like how to do a handstand. It was a whole kind of lifestyle approach. It doesn't have to be a problem that you're like, wow, this is just massive, or wow, this problem is so small no one will care. Problems need to be solved, solve them, make money. How long should my course be? So this is the most common question I get. All right, I get this all the time, the DMs, the emails. And the reality is the length isn't important. What is important is that you solve the problem. That's it. So, for example, that could be a course that's 20 hours. It legitimately needs to be 20 hours, or it could be 2 hours. I've sold 2, 3, 4-hour courses for thousands of dollars. Why? Because it solved a problem. Doesn't matter. The length did not matter. If you can show someone how to do something, doesn't matter how it's packaged in terms of how pretty the site is or the delivery system. Is it on Thinkific? Is it on Teachable? Is it here? Is it there? It could literally be a file. You email it to them. Boom. They open it. They read the PDF. They watch a video. That solved my problem. It transformed my life. Yeah, that's totally worth $2,000. That's totally worth $3,000. That's totally worth whatever. Ask yourself this: when they've completed the course, will they now have the exact tools to solve their problem and accomplish their goal? So that question right there, you can take a picture of it. You can pause this video and write it down. That's the question you want to be asking yourself throughout the entire course creation experience. Once again, all about them. It's all that matters. Your customer's problem is your primary concern. Solve their problem on a mass scale and you will become rich, not only monetarily, but in spirit. If you look at Jeff Bezos, he looked at what people want. They wanted convenience. They wanted fast. They wanted easy, one-click purchases, overnight delivery. Go on a website, I can watch movies, I can order paper towels. And Amazon's just really getting started. He solved a massive burning desire in the world, which was convenience. People want convenience. Why do you think Uber and Postmates and all these different apps are huge? Because it's convenient. It's fast. It's easy. Be thinking like that when it comes to solving your niche's problem with your course. From A to Z, so draw a line like the diagram below. You don't have to do it right this second, but at some point you're going to want to do this. And everything in between what they don't know, which is A, to what they need to know to solve their problem or learn a skill, which is Z, is what you have to fill in. So essentially on the left, what your customer does not know. So they're coming to you, they do not know something. They do not know how to solve a certain problem. They do not know how to develop a certain skill set. And so what journey do you have to take them on to get them to the end goal of now they have that skill set? Let's say now they know how to run Facebook ads, or if they've overcome a problem, now they know how to fix their marriage. In between there, you can literally list out the steps. I'm going to talk about outlining your course right now. So outlining your course, this is a big one. A lot of people skip this, and then that's where they struggle. So if you've ever tried to create a course without outlining it and you've given up, then there's why. Okay, you absolutely need to outline it. You're just be floundering in the dark. I've tried doing courses before not outlining. It was an absolute disaster. It didn't make any sense. You need to outline it. And the irony is the outline is really the foundation. Putting the slides together is ridiculously easy. But when you outline it, then you know exactly, okay, this is going to come here and that's going to come there. And it's just like filling in the blanks. It actually reminds me of like the paint by numbers, right? So the outline is kind of putting the number sequence in, and then the slides is just paint by numbers. Leave nothing for granted. So even if you think it's common sense, include it anyway in terms of your content. Common sense ain't so common anymore. I'm sure you're probably laughing or nodding your head in agreement. That is just a fact. So if you're like, oh yeah, people would know that. No, they probably won't. Put it in anyway. Extremely detailed. The more detailed your outline, the easier it is to create your slides and videos. Continuing on, when you're doing your outline, think of it in terms of third grade teaching level, right? Or third grade reading level. And you might be like, third grade, but I'm teaching something really advanced. Doesn't matter. Okay, because the key is you're never talking down to your students, but you're explaining your concepts and strategies as simply as possible. Simple sells, simple transforms, simple helps people get a result. The irony is people think, well, if I use really fancy words, I'll be thought of as really smart. Well, no, actually, the mark of someone who's really smart is taking a very difficult concept and making it simple and easy to understand. I believe maybe it was Albert Einstein who said that, or someone to that effect of what I just said. And it's a fact. Taking a difficult concept and making it simple and easy to understand, that's the mark of a genius, not throwing in fancy words. Definitions are a must. So if someone has to look something up on Google, right? So say you've got, you have a module and it's the title, even if it's specific to your industry, it's just super confusing. People got to go Google what the heck you're even talking about. You're not being thorough enough. So just think, very simple, very clear. The more simple and clear your course is, the easier it is for people to get results. So watch the screencast. You can do that after you're done with this training video, but I made a screencast video below. It's entitled Outlining Your Profitable Online Course. In that video, I walk you through exactly how to do it step by step using the PDF download I've created for you. And that's a big piece. That's why I decided to add that in as well, because I was like, you know what? If they get the outline done, the rest comes very easily. So make sure you watch that video as well, where I break it all down. Now, length of your course. How many lessons or weeks or modules should I make it? So people get confused with this too, right? The length of your lessons is dependent on how dense the information is. So say you're doing like a really, let's say you're doing computer coding, right? And let's say it's very, dense. Then you're going to want to keep your lessons pretty short, right? The more difficult or the more concentration it takes to understand a concept, then the shorter the lesson length should be, right? So it can sink in, so they can go back and rewatch it over and over, and they're not just getting completely overwhelmed. You don't have an hour and a half coding lesson and people's eyes glaze over. They log out of your course and they never come back. Usually you're going to want to err on the side of keeping lessons about 20 minutes max. Now, it used to be, I've had courses where I would have hour-long, 2-hour-long videos and whatnot, but people's attention spans just can't handle that anymore. They just absolutely cannot. Even this free training, I'm keeping it, I'm forcing myself to not go long-winded. I'm speeding along because I know that people just don't have the attention spans to sit through something, which is a shame. But I think, obviously it has to do with our smartphones and social media and whatnot. They just did a study recently and found that humans actually have a shorter attention spans than goldfish. I think it's about 6 seconds now. So keep that in mind when making your lessons. Another thing is people will feel more accomplished when they finished one of your lessons, right? So say you have a lesson, it's 15 minutes long, they finish that, they get that almost dopamine hit of that sense of, oh, that's awesome. Like I got that done, I did it. And micro success, like micro wins, will keep people going to your course, which will help with your completion rate. Another thing, consider the following: your average student age. Okay, so if your ideal avatar is people 50 to 60, or it's 20 to 25, those are two completely different people, right? They're different places in their life, different attention spans, different interest. The niche, obviously, depending on your niche. The tech aspect of your information. By that, I mean, say that you're teaching a coding class and you need to show like literally how to code. I think they call it like a sandbox. If you're going in there and doing sample coding, or let's say you have a course on how to dunk a basketball. Well, then obviously, you have to have video of that. Now, most people's courses, I'd say probably 95% of people's courses can just be slides. I'm going to get into those differences here in a minute. So you don't need to get fancy with this. This is another thing that always kind of drives me crazy is I see people going, well, I need to have super fancy video and I don't have the money to go out and hire a videographer. No. You don't need to do that. Length of your course. Now, as I mentioned before, your course should be long enough to help them learn the new skill set, and there's no need for fluff. So at the end of the day, let's say that I'm just going to completely make this up, but let's say that your skill set is how to get into a top 20 law school, right? Or, how to get like and I'm not talking about taking the LSATs and the scores. I'm talking about like how to write like a great law school admittance, exam, or not the exam. You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word right now. But, like how to deal with the application process for law school. We'll just go with that. Let's say that the information someone needs in order to get into a great law school is literally 4 hours long. That's literally it. And that information in there will get them that one goal of getting into a better law school than they would have gotten into if they would not have taken your course. Great. Doesn't matter. You don't have to look at your 4-hour course and go, well, this is ridiculous. Why would anyone pay $2,000 for this? Well, if we look at it, from the legal profession standpoint, getting into a tier 1 school compared to a tier 2 school is obviously going to give you better job opportunities. You're going to have a more increased salary. It's a no-brainer. Heck yeah, I'll pay $2,000. I'll pay $5,000. Give me the information. I went to Joe Blow's law school in Florida, or I got into Yale. Now, what trajectory of your life, how much different is it going to be? Is it not worth $3,000 or $4,000 or $2,000 or $10,000? Doesn't matter, right? It's make a huge difference. What matters, and screenshot this, pause the video, screenshot it, take a photo of your phone, whatever you want to do. What matters is that your course provides the transformation they expect. What matters is that your course provides the transformation they expect. This is extremely, extremely key. People don't need information. Okay? We are in the information age. You have all the information you need in the world literally at your fingertips right now. Everything. There's literally nothing you cannot find on the internet. Right? So you could ask yourself, well then why would they buy my course? That's another question people say. Why would someone buy my course when they can get it for free on YouTube? Well, have you ever actually dug through YouTube? There's a lot of trash. It's almost impossible to try to find good stuff. And then you got to kind of piece it together. People are paying for convenience. Remember, fast and easy. Boom, here's your solution. You don't need to spend 2 months digging the YouTube trying to find all the information to piece it together and hope it works. Oh, wait, it's outdated. I didn't realize the video said 2012. Boom, updated, current, proven information packaged up for you to consume. It's 4 hours long. Take it. Then apply for law schools. Get into a better law school. Done. $5,000. What is it? There's a transformation. I was going to get into a crappy law school. Now I'm getting into a tier 1 law school. Let's say you're selling a health course. Let's just use six-pack. Let's say I want to get a six-pack. People are expecting a transformation. They don't have a six-pack, and they want a six-pack. That's the arc. One thing I've noticed with a lot of people is that they want their course to do too much, and that's an easy mistake to make, and you don't want to do that, and there's a few reasons why. The more transformations you have to make, the less likely that someone who takes your course is actually going to accomplish all those, right? So let's say, for an example, I give you, you're going to get a six-pack. You're going to meet the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams. And I'm going to teach you also how to make money and travel the world. And I'm going to teach you how to get your dream car for $20,000 off. That's a ton of expectations. That's a ton of, arcs, right? From something to transforming to something else. What's easier, and what will ensure that your students get great results, which is obviously going to give you more testimonials, which is going to help you sell even more, is that it's one transformation. So say out of those, I'm going to teach you exactly how to negotiate with a car dealer so you get 20,000 off. Boom. That is the transformation. That's what they're expecting when they come into your program. So in a sense, you're not lessening people's expectations, but you're focusing on one big goal that you're going to help them accomplish. So if your course does too much and you're finding that a lot of students are not getting through it or they're not getting results, it could be that you're expecting them to make too many arcs. You're expecting them to make too many transformations, and it's just human nature that they're not going to do that. So week versus lesson versus module. A module is what encapsulates one lesson. Okay, so if you have 4 modules and you've got 2 lessons per module, then obviously you have 8 lessons. So example 1, module 1, lesson 1 video, and then all accompanying videos and homework. So you can see the screencast training below, your profitable course outline, so you can outline your course perfectly. I go into that exactly how to do that. But when it comes to this, think of it like this. It doesn't matter. Do not get caught up in, well, in module 1, I've got 3 lessons and it should take a week. And then in module 2, I've got 1 lesson. It should take a day. Like, keep it simple. You can throw the word module out, throw out everything. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8. Done. That's it. Here's the videos you watch for week 1. Here's the videos you watch for week 2. Here's the homework you do for week 3. Keep it simple. Remember what I told you earlier in this training? Simple sells, simple gives people a transformation. So drip versus Netflix style. So this is interesting. I've been around long enough and have created enough courses and whatnot to have seen the the arc of how this works. And actually, this is back to attention spans. But a drip, what's drip mean? Well, that just means your course will like automatically unlock lessons for them each week or month. So let's say you have your course hosted on, say, like ClickFunnels. You can hit some settings to where, say, it's a 6-week course. In week 1, when they log in automatically after enrolling, there is week 1, and then 7 days later, week 2 will automatically open for them in week 3. Now that sounds cool, right? Oh wow, it's a great way for people to not get overwhelmed. It can work. This was the preferred way to launch courses a couple years ago. However, Netflix, ever heard of them, right? They whetted people's appetite for instant consumption. If you've noticed, all of the, like Amazon now, their TV shows are instant. There's some other, I think Stars, or maybe I'm not sure with that one. But there's different people that are like, hey, wait a second, this is great. It's agonizing waiting week by week for 12 weeks to consume your favorite show. Give it all to me. I'm going to watch it all in a weekend. Right? Any Game of Thrones fans out there? It's agonizing waiting, wasn't it? So giving them instant access to the entire course is the better way to deliver it to them. I've tested this extensively, and I really recommend just giving them access to the entire course up front. And the reason for that is so they can go do it at their own speed. Now, I'm not talking about one-on-one coaching programs. I'm not talking necessarily about group coaching programs. I'm just talking about pure courses, right? Like log in, watch the videos, do the homework, and have success and good luck, right? I'm talking about pure courses. The reason is, the main reason, like I just said, but it's certain people are going to work a certain way. I'm the type, I actually have a certain system when I go through courses. Yes, I buy courses, generally premier high-level courses. I've bought a few Udemy courses. I never opened them. Why? That was $10. I forgot I even bought them. Now, as opposed to courses I've spent $3, $4, $5 for, I actually opened them. I got results. So there's a lesson in there. But people go through at their own speed. What I like to do actually is I like to watch an entire course. I don't care if it's 20 hours long. I go through everything and just absorb it. I'm not taking notes or anything. Then I go through it again from front to end, and I implement and like, okay, now do this, this, and this. I'll stop the video and I'll go do that. Now do this, this, and this. Do that. That's how I do it. Now, if I have to drip it, it drives me batshit insane because I don't want to wait. And I tend to move fast in everything that I do, and I tend to like to implement very fast because I know money loves speed. The speed of implementation is very real. Also, like I'll watch videos at like 1.5x or 2x, so I'm able to get through, say it's a 5-hour course. If I watch it at 2x, I'm actually getting through it in 2.5 hours. It's a great little trick for you. If you didn't know about that, it's a great way to consume a lot of information very, very fast. But remember, it's what works best for your students and not you, right? It could be like, well, I'm having people on a payment plan, so if I drip it, then it ensures that, I'll get more payments from them because they want to consume the whole course. I get that. Totally understand that. I've set up courses like that before. The problem is nowadays, and this is why I highly advise, payment plans can be fine and all that, but I highly advise getting, and this is getting into pricing and whatnot. I don't want to get into all this too much, but really, you're wanting to be able to get as much capital up front as possible. And the reason for this is if someone pays you, say, $300 a month for, say, 3 months, it's $900. If you could get $600 up front, that's money you instantly have that you could put into ads, right? This is why you see software companies and anything, Lead Pages, Aweber or ActiveCampaign, they offer a huge discount for you to pay for the year up front. Why? Because they want that capital. They can put it to work. That's a whole other thing. I could do a whole lesson on that about, asset allocation and capital and all that. So I'm not going to get into that. But remember, when it comes to this, give them the content. Let them get working on it because people work at different paces. And you really want them to be able to get results. So I'll tell you right now, the people who work the fastest are going to get the best results. That is fundamental. I've seen that. I've had over 1,000 students of all my courses. And quite frankly, the people who come in and they work fast and they're consistent and they're not lazy get great results. People that take forever to finish a course, my God, it's like, come on, it's been a year. Like, what are you doing? Okay. Course creation style. Let's talk about the styles of different courses. So there's 3 course styles. There's the PowerPoint or Keynote style, right? Slides like this. 2, there's a video style. And then 3, a hybrid style. So that's like a combination of slides plus video. Now I'm going to discuss each one, and then I'll show you how to select the best style for your niche. So a PowerPoint style, right? Here is a PowerPoint slide. Super simple. If you don't know how to use PowerPoint, you should. I know they definitely... they teach this in school and whatnot, and it's just so basic, it's ridiculous, right? If you're something where you're like, I'm overwhelmed with how to use PowerPoint, now that's something I would YouTube. There's tons of free training on how to use PowerPoint. Super basic. Same with Keynote. This, I drink my own Kool-Aid, so to speak. This entire training I'm doing is on Keynote, and I'm also using a recording system and a mic that I'm going to show you exactly which ones they are here in a little bit. And it's super simple. And it's the same setup I've used to make 7 figures plus. So if you think you need a fancy tech setup and you need a soundproof room and you need a $1,000 mic and you need a $3,000 computer, it's absolute bullshit. You don't. You absolutely do not. So don't get caught up in thinking you need super fancy stuff. The other thing is and I didn't put a slide in this, but people get caught up in templates, right? You can spend hours looking through all the PowerPoint Keynote templates out there. I need the perfect one. I listen, I get it. I love presentation. I love things looking great. But what I've found is something looking perfect and beautiful doesn't necessarily translate into them having success with it. You want your information easy to consume. You want people to be able to easily read the slides. You want people to easily be able to hear you. That's all that matters. It's truly all that matters. So PowerPoint for PC, Keynote for Mac, you probably already know that. But based on your preference, there's no real difference, right? It's just PowerPoints. I just use PowerPoint interchangeably for Keynote. I will say Keynote could be kind of a headache when it comes to actually recording the audio. So sometimes I made my slides in Keynote, export to PowerPoint, record the audio, and then convert it to video. Now, there's actually a way that I'm doing right now that I'll explain in a minute that makes it beyond easy, and it's essentially free. This theme that I'm using right now is one of the default themes inside Keynote, right? Oh, I added the master slides, put in our logo, boom, here we go. That's it. It's clean, it's white, it's black, it's classic, that's it. It's so easy, a 3rd grader can make them, probably even younger. Now, 99% of courses will have slides. So regardless if you just use slides or slides and video, you almost always be using slides, right? Now, the exception would be like you're teaching fishing, right? Or you're teaching how to dunk a basketball or something. So then you're going to have to actually show it, and that's when you need to implement video. But I guarantee you that probably your niche is something where you're either doing a screencast of your screen or you're using slides. Okay, slides are to convey the information in your course in a clear and concise manner. It's not to be fancy and super creative. That doesn't mean that your slides should look like crap. Okay? But don't overthink this. It blows my mind how many people overanalyze this and get so caught up in the look and it having to be perfect. And I love for things to look pretty and good and all that. That's innately who I am. But when it comes to creating your online course, that will only hold you back. Remember your moral obligation. Get your course out to the world. There's people who need your solution. Your students want to learn, right? They came to you. They want to solve a problem. Where's my transformation? The important thing is that your slides aren't distracting them from learning. So less is more when it comes to slides. So video style, right? Pretty self-explanatory. That's solely video. It's no slides. I did a course that was all video, no slides. And the irony is when you're on video, people can get distracted. They're looking at you like, oh, that looks like my ex, or wow, he looks like my cousin Joey. I wonder how Joey's doing. Where's my phone? Let me text Joey. It can be kind of distracting. Okay? It's rare that you're going to do this. You would just be on video the entire time for your lesson, unless what you're teaching can be explained verbally. You need to demonstrate visually, right? So if it's something you're teaching a cooking class and you have to demonstrate it, then obviously you need to be on video. If you do choose this style, simple is best, right? You in a chair, you with a whiteboard, you in a kitchen island. Keep it simple. It doesn't need to be a Hollywood production. I'm telling you right now, people can be entertained by something. It doesn't mean they learned anything, right? How many people have gone and seen the Joker movie? How much do you think they actually learned? It's a cool movie. I like it. But you get my drift. I'm going to discuss equipment later in the lesson, but it doesn't have to be complicated or fancy. Okay? Simple, 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 simple. You can also hire someone to film you. Okay? So that way, you can just focus on delivering the content, not having to worry about the tech angle. But odds are you're probably just going to need slides, quite frankly. And you might be like, wow, well, it might be hard. Let me explain something. So it might be something for you where you're like, I just can't imagine how someone could pay thousands of dollars for a program and it's just slides. Well, imagine it, because it's a fact. Because people are paying for the transformation. They don't care how it's delivered. If someone, imagine that, you had an uncle and he contacted you and said, hey, I have a treasure map. Or I have a map that's going to teach you how to do this one thing you really, 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 really want. More than anything. But the problem is, I'm going to have to send it to you in this old envelope. And it's just kind of written on the back of a napkin, actually, from a Chinese restaurant. But it's the exact blueprint to get what you want. Are you going to give a rat's ass that it's going to be delivered to you in an old envelope written on the back of a napkin from a Chinese restaurant? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter. All you're wanting is that blueprint to get that transformation you want. So think about that with your course. Think about that with your students. Hybrid style. So this would be obviously you on video and a slide. This, slide on the right that I've screenshot is literally the previous slide I was just on. Right? So this could be a little bit of you on video, a little bit of you, on the slides. So hybrid style, combination of video on the teacher plus slides. Now, listen, everyone learns differently, right? Some people are visual, some are auditory learners. A hybrid course combines visual, words, and audio. So depending on your niche, this may be the best choice for you. I will say this, though. In general, for most people, especially their first course, or they're putting something out to market to see how they're going to respond, or it's a beta group or whatnot, do not get fancy. I'm telling you, fanciness and trying to be super slick is only going to hold you back. Choosing the best style for you. So you're like, all right, this is awesome information. I love this, Ben. Thank you so much for doing this. What's the best style for me? Well, I want you to look at the following factors: your niche and your average student age and interest. All right, so let's say you're teaching a niche that's super technical, let's say coding. Then you can just do screencasts and slides. There's literally no reason for you to be on camera. However, if you wanted like put a nice touch on it, you could do like introduction videos you on camera. I've done that before. However, it's not necessary. Like, all right, hey, in lesson 4, I'm going to teach you how to code, blah, 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 blah. And I hope you're doing great in this program, etc. And they go into it. People be like, oh, this is literally people's reaction to be, oh, that's really nice. That's cool. All right, where's the information to help me learn how to code better so I can get a better job, so I can make more money, so I can go to Fiji? That's literally how much of an impression it's going to make. I've done both. Created courses solely on video. I've created courses with video and slides, and I've created courses with just slides. And the courses with just slides, hand to God, always generates more revenue and better results for the students. I think it has to do with the simplicity, and I think it has to do with it brings in the type of people who want to learn, who can focus. Now, obviously, if you're teaching a highly visual course, right, how to dunk a basketball, how to improve your tennis serve, obviously you have to be filming that with video. Okay, slides in that case, they're not going to do much for your students. Slides maybe like recap moments in a lesson. But most of you are probably not doing a course in something where you have to be on video. Now, creating your slides. Let's talk about creating your slides. Key factors. Now, this drives me crazy because once again, you want to keep it simple. But it's imperative you use easy to read font. I remember there was a specific course I took years ago, paid like $1,000. And the lettering and the coloring was so off the wall, I was getting headaches. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I just wish to God this dude could have just chosen simple black font on white background. Make it easy on my eyes. You know, when you're staring at a course, and this course I think was about 12 hours long, and the colors were just crazy. And it was good content, but it was made a terrible experience. So you really want to make sure that it's easy to read. Say, which of the following is easier to read? Sam went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Sam went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Sam went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Right? Obviously the one at the bottom. Now the other one, oh, that looks kind of cool or whatnot. It doesn't when you're staring at, a slide for 20 minutes. It's all about them. Remember, it's not about what you like. The fonts I'm using right now are fine. They're easy to read. That's why I'm using them. They're not particularly slides I think are fonts that I think look really cool, but I know they're easy to read. So now here's some fail-safe fonts to use. This makes it really simple. Jill Sans or Gil Sans, I don't know how you say it. That's this one. That's the one I'm using. Futura, Arial, and Helvetica. Fail-safe fonts. Very simple. Gil Sans, Futura are a little more modern. Arial and Helvetica are good choices too. So keep it simple. Boom. There you go. Now you just figure out your fonts. You don't have to even think about it anymore. Lines per slide. This is a mistake I see people make. I've done it before too. I even get a little dents here on some of these slides. It's easy to do. Don't blame yourself, but you really just don't want to cram them too much. Okay? It can be kind of overwhelming to a student. It can be dreadfully boring to stare at for 10 minutes. If people want to read a book, right, they'll just get a book. So you want to keep it, about 4 bulletin points per slide is max. And remember, obviously, you have an endless amount of slides, so you don't need to put everything on one. Image use. Now, this is really cool, okay? For those of you who are super into, like, I want my course to look really pretty and whatnot, I feel you. I understand. There's a really simple way to do it, so you're not spending weeks making your course slides look pretty, and you can do it very simply, and I obviously am doing that in this training. Remember, I drink my own Kool-Aid. Break up your sections with royalty-free original photographs. Okay? This can really add a nice touch to your course. And more importantly than it being pretty, it can help with engagement because it breaks up the slides. If all of your slides are just white and black, white and black, white and black, white and black, people just start glazing over. Okay? So you'll see that I have images at certain points to keep it broken up. Now, if you're not, a photographer, if you're not using original photographs, then here's websites I use. I literally have used these. If you go in there and start digging around, you'll find the photos in this training from there. Unsplash.com, Pixabay.com, Stocksnap.io, Flickr.com, Pexels.com. I love Unsplash.com. It's freaking awesome. They've got great, great photos, and they're free, and you can use them for commercial use and everything. Voiceover for slides. Now, this is key. I will tell you this. Your slides can be simple. You don't need a fancy template or anything. However, they need to be able to hear your audio. Okay? If you sound like you are sitting beside a gas station, people are going to be pissed, and rightfully so. So, listen, your audio will never be perfect unless you're in a studio and you're spending a ton of money getting that perfect sound. That's just a fact. But you can make it as good as possible. Here's what I do. So I record the video after each lesson that's completed. So remember, step 1, you're outlining the course. Step 2, you're making the slides. Then step 3 is obviously doing the audio or the voiceover for each lesson. So what I'll do is I'll make the outline, I'll create say lesson 1, week 1 slides. And then I do the audio. And then when the audio is done, boom, convert it to video. That's literally it. Now I know lesson 1 is done. And there's something very important. And make sure you watch this to the end because I'm gonna break that down for you, else you could have a disaster with your course. But there's something I do with that immediately. And so it ensures that I'm not going to lose it. And then guess what? It's a micro success. I'm doing that to myself, right? Not just my students. Like, okay, that was a feeling of accomplishment. Awesome. I got that one done. Now the next one. And you start getting momentum. Here's the following mic recommendations that I personally use too. Once again, this is all stuff that I actually use. This is the mic I'm recording on right this second, actually. It's the Blue Snowball USB. You can get it on Amazon for a whopping $68. It might even be cheaper. It might be a little more. This is around roughly the price that I saw. And it's a great mic. What's cool is you can pop the top part off the mic. Those little legs fold up. And it's easy to travel with or whatnot. You can use it for podcasting as well and whatnot. But it's just a great little mic. It's perfect. You don't need to get super fancy. Another one, if you want to take it up another level, is the Blue Microphones Yeti USB. This is a good mic I've used before as well. It's about double the price. But if you don't mind spending the money, then, you can obviously, go for a higher grade mic. But this one works great. It's funny, I actually have a buddy, he's got a mic he got off Amazon for $20, and I don't even remember what brand it was, but the quality of it is actually even better than this Blue Snowball USB. So you don't have to, the point of what I'm doing right now is showing you don't need to go out and spend, $500 on a fancy mic in order to create your course. You just don't. I'm telling you, you absolutely do not. So here's some great tips that I wish people had given to me years ago, but they did not because, there wasn't a lot of training like this out there like there is now. So recording tips, record in the morning. I'm recording this in the morning, around an hour after you've woken up. You've gotten your voice warmed up. And your voice will be strongest since you haven't used it all day. So let me give you a practical real-world example. Let's say you work a regular job, let's say a 9 to 5. You get home from work where you've been dealing with people all day and you're exhausted, your voice is tired, and you're like this. Hey guys, so welcome to lesson 2 of my course, and I'm happy you're here. And today we'll learn about how to get into your dream law school. No one's going to listen to that shit. That's ridiculous. It's depressing. No. Okay? I'm not telling you to, sound, you don't have to be super entertaining or something, but you need to sound energetic. You need to sound like you want to be there, right? You want to teach them. You want to convey this awesome information to your customer. So you record in the morning. Oh, wait a second. That means you got to get up early. Well, then go to bed an hour early, get up an hour earlier, or get up 2 hours earlier and do it in the morning, right? Let your voice be tired at your job. It's okay because you're going to replace it anyway with your course income. So that's a big tip. If you're something where you go to work at 4 in the morning and you work till 8 o'clock at night, you're just like, that's not going to work, then do it on the weekend, right? This is huge, 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 huge. Cannot tell you enough. Don't get caught up in being perfect. I've stumbled over some words in this training. Am I going to re-record it? No. Well, why would you not re-record it? Because it's not a script. I'm not reading a script. There's some bulletin points, and I've created, generally when I do my training, I do it in a way that if someone is hearing impaired, they're able to actually read the slides and still get the information. That's why I write it out the way I do it. But I'm not verbatim per se reading every single bulletin point. Okay? Stumble a little bit. Drink some water. It's not the end of the world. You are human. People do not expect you to be a robot. You know what's annoying is those... What are the things that... what was that thing on the computer you used to be able to type in something, and then it would be like, hello, welcome to... Like, it was boring. And some people are doing their courses like that. It's ridiculous. Imagine I was doing that. How you know you've watched some courses or heard some people, or maybe you've done this yourself. Don't get caught up in being perfect. No one is. If you stumble on a word, that's okay. Keep going. Otherwise, you'll never record everything perfectly. That would make me want to pull my hair out right now. Okay? Perfection does not equate to a great experience. I'm telling you right now, now that might sound counterintuitive, but if someone stumbles on the thing a little bit, they drink a little water, but the sound's fine. They're not sitting there just guzzling drinks and smacking in the fucking mic. Excuse my French. But they're just literally rolling with it. Okay? Now, if you're stumbling nonstop, then I will ask you a question right now that might ruffle some feathers, but is what it is. Do you know the content well enough to be teaching it? You should be able to have bulletin points and talk about it intelligently without stumbling too much because you actually know the content. If you're stumbling like crazy, then it could be you don't actually know the content that you're trying to teach. So that's something to think about. Be conversational. So avoid sounding like you're reading a monologue. It's boring. People don't want to hear it. They're not going to learn as well. They're literally going to be sitting there going, this guy is the most boring person I've ever heard in my entire life. Use inflection to vary your voice, right? A great tip, if you struggle with this, is imagine you're reading or narrating to kids and how they like to hear you use different voices, right? So it's like, listen, Bob went down to the beach and saw Billy the dog. And Billy the dog was like, what in the world are you doing here, Bob? So Bob and Billy went down to the taco shack down the street, right? So the cadence is the inflection. It's up, it's down, it's around, it's back. Where's it going? Okay, I'm not saying you got to be a voiceover actor. I'm not saying you're going to try to be entertaining, but it'll be enough to get you out of a monotone vibe and into one that's interesting to listen to. And let me tell you something. When you're passionate about your course topic, when you're passionate about what your program can do to transform someone's life, you are excited. Okay, you don't need to fake it. I'm excited right now. I don't need to fake it. I'm not having to hype myself up. I'm not slamming a Red Bull. I'm excited because I know this information can absolutely transform your life. So yes, I get intense. Yes, I drop some cuss words. Yes, I stumble over my words because I'm passionate, excited, and legitimately know what I'm talking about. More recording tips. Don't feel rushed. So this is huge. I mean, it's all huge. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. If you're actually rushed, it's going to come across. Your students are going to feel it. So you want to take your time, schedule out plenty of time to record each lesson. Okay, if you have to, lock yourself in your closet or bathroom to get the best sound. Yes, I am totally serious. I did this. I can remember a course. I specifically, due to the way the apartment was set up, it was so echoey that I would go in the bathroom, record. And that course did well over $500,000. Recorded in a bathroom on the floor. Using actually not this same microphone, but the same model that I'm using right now. So make it happen. Make it work. Well, I don't know. Everyone's yelling in the house. Tell everyone to shut up. Go down the basement. Lock yourself in a closet. I'm dead serious. Turn off the heat, the air conditioner, maybe your refrigerator. If you're recording right by your refrigerator, if any of those are nearby, your recording mic will pick it up, creating humming on your videos. With full transparency, there may be a bit of humming on this one. I'm not in New York City. I'm on the West Coast right now because I didn't want to do another cold ass winter in New York City. So I just recently got over to the West Coast. So I'm in the transition mode. So there might be a little humming as the refrigerator is about 20 feet away from me. But in general, unplug it. And listen, because you're doing shorter lessons. You're not doing 2-hour lessons. If you're doing 15-minute lessons or whatnot, like the food will be all right for 15 minutes. It's not going to spoil. Put your phone on silent or in airplane mode so you don't get that ill-timed phone call or text when you're in the middle of recording a great lesson. Now, that is annoying. Okay, if your phone goes off ringing in the middle of your lesson, you got to redo that. That just ain't cool because this just can be avoided. Okay, you can't help if like every single room in your apartment's got right by the police station or something, and there's sirens all the time. You can do the best you can, but when it comes to something you can control, there's no excuse. Recording tips continued. A couple more. I gargle with water before I start recording. Gets bubbles out of my throat. Makes me feel good. Also, you can hit pause on your recording, right? Drink some water, use the restroom, whatever you need to do, and then pick up where you left off. No one's going to know. Your performance will be golden. But please, I implore you, with everything that's within you, do not be a person who says, oh, I absolutely stumbled and said instead of or I said water instead of honey. So therefore, I'm going to throw out 50 minutes of recording and go back and start again and sound like an effing robot. Please do not do that. I'm telling you right now, people, they do not care. It is not, if anything, it's more entertaining and it shows relatability and you're human. Oh, he stumbled over a word. Yeah, I do that all the time. Cool. I like him even more. Don't matter. The information he's given me is allowing me to have a transformation, and that's all that matters. Now, this is where in terms of tech, this is it. This is why, keep it simple, folks. Keep it really simple. Remember, did the outline, create the slides, then do the audio for the slide, and obviously you can use the screencast software right here, screencast-o-matic.com. This is literally what I'm using right now to record this. This is so simple, it's ridiculous. So your Keynote's open or your PowerPoint's open, and you literally open up Screencast-O-Matic and fit the slide inside the white and red checkered frame the Screencast-O-Matic is. It's literally a frame. You fit it inside it, and you click record. That's how simple it is. And then when you're done, you hit done, and then export, and exports as a video on your desktop. I mean, here's the thing. This is what you got to really be honest with yourself, because I think a lot of people, it's not that they don't know how to create the course, is that they're lazy, to be quite honest, or they're not willing to do what it takes. They're not willing to sacrifice and get up that extra hour or two, or stay up an extra hour or two, or not go play softball on Saturday, but work on their course. This is so attainable, it's ridiculous. If you had to, you could probably borrow someone's mic and borrow someone's laptop and do it on theirs, right? So if someone tells you you need to spend $3,000 to $5,000 to, create your course, they are full of crock. It's literally this simple. That's why I was telling you, it is the simplest, most easy way to create a course. So Screencast-O-Matic. Now I know that URL looks pretty crazy, but that's literally exactly how it is. I believe, actually, but you can Google it, but that's literally it. It's easy to use, free depending on the length of your videos. Just a few bucks. I mean, like hardly anything. Probably the equivalent of going to, McDonald's and getting a couple meals. And then you just download them instantly and they're ready to be uploaded to your membership area, your video hosting site like Vimeo. I'm going to get into hosting in a little bit where you can put your videos, but that's literally it. Done. There you go. Quality control. Quality control. What is quality control? Well, after your course is built, you're going to want to do the following to ensure it's really ready to go to market. So you can have a third party review the slides and videos for spelling and grammar errors. Now, here's the deal. If you have an error, here's what will happen. You do your slides, you record, you go back, and you realize there's a word you misspelled. Not a big deal. You don't need to re-record. Now, if you have multiple spelling errors, then that's a problem. But if you've got one, maybe two, and it's like a 30-minute lesson, it's really not that big of a deal. What do I mean by third party? It could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your best friend. Someone you know who's always pretty good with catching stuff like that. Just have them look it over. Make sure videos are in HD and pick a video host. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Believe it or not, and there's people that are still recording videos and they're not in HD. Make sure it's in widescreen format. PowerPoint Keynote can be square or widescreen. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a minute. Have beta testers, friends and family review to ensure it makes sense and flows. And then back up all videos in Dropbox.com. This is super important. I've lost videos because I didn't do this. And also, believe it or not, if you want to go super streamlined, I'm talking ridiculously streamlined in getting your course out, you can literally have a Dropbox folder link that you use to share with your students, and that is the course. All the videos are in there. Here's the link. Boom. People actually love it. It's really easy to use. Dropbox is really easy to use. Guess how much that's going to cost you? Well, it's free up to a certain point. You have to use a lot of storage before they charge you $9.99 a month. So if you're one of those people that are like, well, I'm stuck. I need, this, I need that, and I need to have this, and I need all these fancy things. No, you don't. I'm telling you right now, you don't. How do I know? Because I've got the experience and the money, the amount of money I've made, and I've tested every learning platform out there, from Thinkific to Teachable to LearnWorlds. You name it, I've tested it. And the reality is, it never really made a difference in terms of the student's transformation. Right? Keeping it simple as possible. Keeping it easy to access, easy to learn from, and easy to implement gets the best results for your students. Remember, it's all about your students. So I already talked about this, about checking your course, for errors or whatnot. This group can also be a part of your beta testers, which ties into your early testimonials, right? And there is a whole system to this. I'm not getting into that here because this isn't about launching. This is just about creating your profitable online course. But take whatever they say as constructive criticism and keep an open mind. Okay, you're going to know the difference between them nitpicking or actually helping you. Now, HD videos, I just have to put this in there. It should be like a no-brainer, but there's not a lot to say on this. It's almost 2020, right? Your videos got to be in HD. It's just period. They should also be able to play it on mobile. Okay, in terms of if someone goes, well, what official platform do you recommend in terms for your funnel and all that? I recommend ClickFunnels. It's just super easy. It's mobile friendly, but almost all of them are mobile friendly at this point. Even a Dropbox folder, right? It can be played on mobile. Hosting your videos. Let me talk about that for a moment, because this is a question I actually get quite a bit as well. And it's an interesting question. So here's like the four main brands that you would probably host it on. It would be YouTube, which is obviously free. Vimeo, which is free, or there's pro versions. Wistia, which is paid, and Amazon Web Services S3, which is paid. I'm going to break them down for you. So Amazon S3, so I had a 6-figure course host on there, and it only cost me a few bucks per month. It was like ridiculous, less than $5. But it is not user-friendly. I didn't even set it up. You still need video software to host it on your actual course site. It's not recommended, so I would not do that. Wistia.com, this is a big one. Pretty cool, they do their videos, right? But hosting costs add up quickly. I used them for years. And at one point, my bill was costing hundreds of dollars per month, approaching $1,000 per month due to the users. And I was like, wait a second. This is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense, right? What are the other options? So I would not recommend using Wistia. I'm nothing against them, but I'm terms if you want to keep things streamlined and lean. Now, there's obviously YouTube.com. You can host those privately. However, customization isn't that great in terms of if you really want to keep it on brand. And YouTube's notorious for their stuff getting stolen. So it's a so-so choice. It's not terrible. It's not the best. I really recommend Vimeo. I have no affiliation with them or anything, but I really like them. They have a very low fee for their pro plan. I think it's around $250 per year. And you have unlimited bandwidth. You can customize your heart's content. And you can, this video right here is hosted on Vimeo, but you can just make it. It's very easy to use, right? And they're very good about protecting your content, which is great. You can keep them unlisted and private. There's literally no way for someone to even find it. So they're kept kind of safe. So I highly, highly recommend Vimeo. But if you're like, you know what, I'm absolutely hurting for money, just use YouTube, put it on private. The choice is ultimately yours. Like I said, some of you are probably very tech savvy. Maybe Amazon S3 works for you, but I'm telling you, the entire process, not only for your student, but for yourself when it comes to courses, needs to be simple. There is no reason to overcomplicate this stuff. There's just not. To overcomplicate it would just be you maybe deep down you're delaying getting your course out there, so you're making up reasons to make it more complicated than it is. Widescreen format. When you're creating your slides in PowerPoint or Keynote, make sure you select widescreen format, right? So when you click the export button, They don't come out in that boxy. Remember the 90s style format with the black bars on the sides of your videos, like the MTV music video? Here's how to make sure you're in 16:9 widescreen format instead of 4:3 standard format. So in PowerPoint, you just go on to slide size. It's defaulted to standard. You just click widescreen. Now, the reason why I'm putting this in there, because some of you might be like, well, yeah, no shit, I know how to do this, but some of you might not, is because one time I did a bunch of slides, recorded everything, and then when I exported them, it was like a super long lesson. It just really stuck out in my mind. It was so obnoxious that it wasn't in widescreen. On Keynote, you have the standard, wide, and my themes. You're just choosing wide. Actually, this theme that I'm using right now is the showroom one with the motorcycle on it. See, simple. You don't need to go out and spend $50 or $100 on a special theme. I'm telling you, it's just not relevant. So let's talk about beta testers for a minute. If you have an email list, awesome. Ask your subscribers to test your new course. If you don't, there's another way to do this. And I'm not going to get into that here. I do inside my program, but here's an example email. So let's say you have a list. You're like, perfect. I already kind of have my tribe. You can send them something like, hey, I know I've been working on a kick-ass course for you and it's almost ready to launch, but I'd like to get some feedback first to make sure it's as great as it can be before I give you the opportunity to join it. Right? I'm taking just 10 people. The first 10 to respond to this email to test it out, look for bugs, give me feedback. You'll get free access to the course, plus all the updates and new versions. Just hit reply to this email with, I'll test it, and I'll send you details. Literally, you can copy that verbatim. And you will get people to respond if you've been engaged with your list. If you haven't emailed them in 6 months and you send that, they probably won't respond. So just like that, though, let's say you've been engaging, and it doesn't have to be that many people. You could have 100 people on your list. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll do that, of course. You can also ask friends and family. Test it out. Do you want to give me a testimonial? Make sure you set a deadline on when you need the feedback back so people don't take months to get back to you. Now, depending on the length of the course will determine how much time you should give them. But here's the thing. This is just an absolute fact. It's the way it is. It's human nature. Some people are going to disappear. Okay? Probably the first person that said, I'll test it, you'll never hear from again. It's just the way it is. But let's say out of those 10 people, you get 3 great testimonials. Well, then that's a great start to launch your paid course. Okay? And also, outside of even the testimonials, they're going to give you feedback. Well, this part didn't make sense at all. Well, if 5 out of the 10 people actually go to the course and give you feedback and all 5 say the same thing, or 4 out of 5 say the same thing, then you know you need to tweak it. So another thing with beta testers, this is great because feedback is everything. Data is king. That's just an absolute fact. We're seeing that on a widespread scale with the social media companies and whatnot. But you want to get specific with the questions you ask them. Okay, so here's some examples. Feel free to use these, of course. What did you like about the course? What did you not like about the course? Was the material easy to understand? That's the keyword easy. After completing the course, do you feel as though the course helped you achieve what it promised you it would? Right? When someone comes into your program, say you have a group coaching program, it's a hybrid type program of coaching a course, or it's just a course, they're coming to you, they're giving you money for you to solve a problem or for your course to solve that problem. Did they feel like they solved that problem? So enter any additional comments, no matter how silly you might think they are, below. So you can leave like a blank area. Perfect thing to use is SurveyMonkey. Or you can use Google Forms. It's free, I believe. Google Forms. Just simple 5-question survey. Fill it out. Super easy. Because that information is gold. Because the better you make your course, notice I said better. I didn't say fancier. I didn't say longer. I didn't say shorter. I didn't say a cooler website. The better and the stronger and the more powerful the transformation is going to be for the student. And that's all that matters. Back up your course. I already talked about this before, but I had to put it in bold red because it's that important. Use Dropbox.com to back up all of your slides, videos, homework, PDFs, and anything else that goes into your course. Now, you might have a different kind of backup system, but I like Dropbox. It's just so stinking simple. And, after I make the slides, I'm at the point now, I make the slides, I drop it in the Dropbox. Then I record the audio, convert it to video, then I drop that in the Dropbox, right? It just makes it easier because God forbid you spill your Red Bull or your coffee on your keyboard and short circuits your entire computer. It's happened to me. It has happened to me. except it was an Arnold Palmer iced tea, or whatever those Arnold Palmer teas are from the gas station over there, like 79 cents or whatever. They're delicious. I haven't had one in years. But yeah, it spilled onto a laptop and ruined everything. So you don't want to be a horror story, even though I know it's Halloween. You don't want to have that experience. Now, wrapping up, how long should it take? Now, I'm going to be blunt here. Don't get offended. It's really easy for people to get offended nowadays. But just like Ray Dalio says, brutal, raw transparency, right? Honesty, brutal honesty to yourself. That's how you're going to make progress. You should be able to outline and make your slides in one weekend. Now, let's say you're an exception and you have a course that legitimately is going to be 50 hours. Well, then, yeah, you're probably not going to get that done in one weekend. But in general, if you've got a 4 to 8, I'd say maybe even like 4 to 10, maybe even 12-hour course, you can get the slides done in one weekend. I'm talking you start on it Friday and you end Sunday night. Now, if you can't, I'm saying within those time limits, your course is probably extraordinarily long, which is fine if they need that much content in order for them to have the transformation, or you're being a perfectionist. And trust me, I've been there. I know how easy it is to get stuck in that perfectionist zone, but perfectionism is not progress. I've had clients come into course clients, work with myself and my team, and they literally come in, they've been working on their course for years. And I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, we're going to get this done now. We're going to get it done in a week. And they're like, wow, I got it done in a week, and it was taking me literally a year and a half, or it took me 10 months to try to get a couple modules done or to try to get the course done. And then some people come in and just on their own, boom, they get the course done like in a weekend. And then boom, they're making sales. Doesn't need to be dragged out. This isn't rocket science, right? You just got to buckle down and get it done. Remember, this is super key. It won't be your final version, right? You can make it fancy later, but just get it done. Okay, money loves speed. The sooner you get it done, the faster you can get to market and make money. Now, I know there's ways to pre-sell courses. There's ways to, to sell access to programs before they've been created, all that. And I teach how to do that inside my program. But for the sake of this entire training is just, you want to create your course, right? You want to get your course done. Some people just absolutely don't like the idea of selling the course before it's done. It just freaks them out. It puts too much pressure on them. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, this is for you. Okay. This is exactly how to get your course done. And if you follow this, you should have it done. Okay. In a weekend, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks max. It's not something to be drug out. There's just literally no reason to do that. So next step, you want help implementing what you've learned today? You're probably like, yeah, this is awesome. I mean, this is free. I feel like I should have paid for it. Book a free consultation. There's a big button further down the page, or you can go to courseclients.com/apply. So what's going to happen is we're going to give you clarity on what to do with your course, or maybe you just have a course idea and you're like, you know what, is this viable? Does this make sense? Does this seem like a niche that will make money? We'll talk to you, figure it out. And then if it feels like, hey, we can work with you and we can help you, and you feel the same and you're like, hey, these guys are pretty dope, guys and gals, then, maybe we'll give you an opportunity to work with us one-on-one so you can sell your course consistently and predictably. Because here's the deal. Once you create your course, great. Awesome. You got it done. You don't want it sitting on your computer laughing at you going, ha, you can't sell me. Ha, you can't get this awesome solution out to the world to help solve people's problems. Nah, create it, and then you got to be able to actually sell it. And that's really where our strength is. But anyway, remember, underneath there is Your Profitable Online Course Outline PDF. It's about, I think, 10 pages, and I have a screencast that walks you through exactly how to implement that so you can outline your course, which is the most key part of creating a course. And then you can get started on doing that. And then further below it is that link to book a call, or you can go to courseclients.com/apply. Really hope you enjoyed this. It was awesome making it for you. If you enjoyed it, leave me a comment on Facebook, send a DM. You can always email me at ben@courseclients.com. I love you all. I'm out.